Hi, friends. I'm a couple minutes early, but I'm excited to be here with you. Today it will just be me, but I have exciting news. Starting next week, Trish will be back with us, hopefully. So I'm excited. Um, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to pull up here. I forgot to do this. Ah, where is it? I want to pull up my links so I can add that in for you. And it's in a different one. Silly me, should have done this before I went live, but oh well. So yeah, so today it's just me. Uh-oh, I got him. Ah. Oh, whoever's joined me, you just heard myself on myself. But yeah, so I'm excited to be here, as I mentioned. This week is just me, but starting next week, Trish will be back, and that'll be lots of fun. So she's prepping something for next week. But this week we're doing something beachy. We will be using beads from June's Potomac bead box. Um, they had like a beachy theme, so I can turn my thing around and yeah, share with you what we're gonna do. I'm excited to be here with you guys, and yeah, hopefully we'll have a bunch of friends joining us here soon. But I'm gonna switch cameras and so that you can see what I've got. But yeah, um, how's your week going? What are you guys making? Please share, and I will try my best to respond to people. But since it's just me, that might be a little difficult. We'll see how that goes. Oh, that's not staying. Ah, probably. Gotta tighten that. Let's see if I can get a good position here. It seems pretty good. Alrighty. But we have a really fun beachy bracelet to make today, and you don't need to see my wires here. Let's see, we want to go this way. We'll move my mic. But yeah, hopefully people will be joining us soon. If you don't have a macrame board, you certainly can use any way that you're able to hold down your hemp. So, hey, Sandy. So excited to have you here. Yeah, so I think this might be 0.5. This is from Hemptique. You'll need 3 strands of it. So they're about for me, each strand is a wingspan. So, and then I tied my knot down pretty far so that I can have my beads right up against it, but also have it sitting right in my macrame board right there. You can see I use that spot a lot. The longest part is probably getting all the beads. So we're going to bead all of our beads on first. Hey, Melanie. Hope that, so glad to have you guys here. Excited to be here making this beachy bracelet. So yeah, so we're working with, oh good. So get your thinnest hemp out. I think this is 0.5, and hopefully it's fairly stiff for you. It's easier. All you need is 3, about 1 arm length each. And we're going to bead on our beads first. So yeah, so we're going to be working with the Potomac beads, but you certainly can do whatever beads you want. So this is like a shell shape. Let's see if I can get it to focus on it. It's really cute. There we go. You can't see all the details, but it does have lines in it. And then I have some 8O seed beads in like a bluish color. These are, I believe, 4mm, the clear white, a button, and as I mentioned, the hemp, and a board. Now, if you don't have a board, you can, there's that knotting board that you can use, or you can just tape it to your desk, or you can do a clipboard. There's all kinds of ways that you can hold things down. So I mentioned having glue. So, and why I want the hemp to be stiff is it makes it easier to bead all your beads on, because we're going to start with that. So just want to get out a dab of glue, and this is just regular old all-purpose universal glue that I have. So it doesn't have to be anything. Yes, thank you, Sandy. I couldn't think of the words. The Bead Along tying station. So if you don't have a macrame board, right, you can use the tying station. I know Melanie said she has the macrame board. Yeah, so any of those, or as I said, clipboard or tape. I can remember doing macrame, and I'd pin it to my pants, you know, when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. So there's all kinds of ways that you can make it happen. So you just need a dab of glue. Now you might be, I was trying all kinds of different ways. How do I get the beads on without the hemp fraying? So a couple ways. I do have a bead reamer, but all my beads are plastic. I'm not plastic, glass. So you need to be really careful with your bead reamer, but that's if the hole's not, and you just need a dab of glue. I found why I'm just, you don't, it's not to hold it, it's just to hold your threads together so they don't split on you while you're beading. So I just dabbed it in, and you don't want an E6 any of those fancy glues either right now, because I'm just going to take my fingers and go like that to hold it all down, and you don't want to get that kind of glue on your fingers. So yeah, and that I found, because the holes are fairly small, like I couldn't do the tape method or anything, so we're just going to do it that way. So I'm going to start with, we're going to start with our 8O seed beads. So you're just going to slide on. So you're going to slide on all your beads first. So the pattern I used was 2 seed beads. And that dab of glue helps it hold all together. And then I put one of my clear, they're kind of like mermaid beads almost. But if you want to do different sizes, you don't have to do the same sizes as me. You can certainly do different sizes. Sometimes I find if I twist it, the bead goes on too. And just slide it up. You don't have to slide them all the way up yet. And then, so then when you put on the shell bead, you have to figure out what direction you want it to. So whatever end you put in first is the direction that it's going to lay on your hemp. So I went with hemp because it just has a beachy feel to it. But I was finding I did need to do a little bit of reaming just to open the hole up just slightly. Be really gentle because you don't want to crack your beads, but I like to spin it around in there, open it up just a hair. I was trying to think of other ways to do this, but anything smaller wouldn't hold as well together with the other hemp. There's certainly probably other ways you can do this, but when I was practicing, this seemed to work the best. Yeah, I tried burning the hemp to see if I could hold it together that way, and it was still fraying. I kept trimming it. This bead does not want to go somewhere in the middle. It's probably really thin. But as I said, you need to be real careful or you'll crack your bead. So Sandy and Melanie and several other people looks like have joined us. So excited to have all you guys. What are you working on this week? I'm trying to get my bead on. So you can choose whatever pattern you want. This was just the pattern I had created. So it's 2 seed beads, then the 4mm, and then the 7mm. I did, Melanie, thank you for mentioning that. That was another thing that I tried. I did try a big eye needle, but the hemp is too thick for that. So it wouldn't go in doubled over. You know, like, but I was using it, I don't know where I put it, to help push the hemp through. No, I don't remember where I put it. It's here somewhere. Ah. Yeah, I did try that too. That is a great idea, but that too was, most of the beads went on just fine. Ah, I dropped it. This one's given me some issues here. All right, we're going to put that one to the side and see if I can just get another one on. So. That's okay, Melanie. But yeah, it just made it too thick. Like, yeah, you could go with the big whole bead. I just really wanted to use these beads because they're just so beachy and pretty. So if you get the Potomac, this is from the June Treasure Edition box. And of course, they would give me trouble when I go live. The other one was easier. Go figure. But because these are the fancy ones, like they just slightly smaller than your regular run-of-the-mill holes. So we'll just keep digging in there. It's just in that middle. So just remember gently. It's a good possibility while we're sitting here that I will crack a bead. But yeah, what are you guys working on this week? What projects do you have? If you didn't hear, I did mention that Trish is going to be back next week, and she has a fun, I think, yep, see, there you go. I just cracked my bead. Pushed too hard. That's okay, I have more. But yeah, so I'm excited. She'll be back with us next week. Cracked another one. All right. Pushing too hard, Amber. Go figure. We will get this down. We will. Okay, don't be like me and push too hard. You know, it worked fine when I was doing it just me, right? Oh, you're having a garage sale, Sandy? Oh my goodness, I wish you were closer. I'd come see it. I love garage sales. Dude, I know here they start on Thursday where we live. Did you start yesterday too? Are you out there? Or are you on break while you watch our video? All right. Everybody cross your fingers. Say, please go in. It'd be very sad if I can't do the project I planned on. But that happens, doesn't it? Seems to be going in a little easier. Yes, Thursday's a big day. It is. I don't know why that is, but that yard sales start on Thursday. I never understood that, but when we moved here to central Pennsylvania, that was the thing. Growing up, you only ever saw them where I grew up on Saturdays. But now, go figure, right? Let's see if I grab. Of course, this project would be much better with bigger hole beads, but these were just so pretty. That's why I went with them. And of course, you're working on a necklace using cross stitch, bezeling, and netting. Yeah, I saw you talking about the cross stitch. I don't know how to do that, so I'm excited to see what you come up with, Melanie. It would be a very long project if I can't get get my flip it over. Maybe I'll go the other direction. No. All right, let's see what's going on here. Maybe if I flatten it. You can try flattening it a little. Maybe that'll help. Just like. Nope. That makes it too big to go. Oh, of course, it worked so fine earlier. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I forget things all the time too, Melanie. So totally get you there, friend. That happens with me all the time. I'm like, I was making a video today, my design on the fly for the July Potomac box, and man, oh man, I just was like, I try to do it just on the fly, literally taping, so just like a live, and it was just not happening. But I finally got it, but I was so tired and knew I had to. All right, we're going to trim this and start over. See if that works. But I have lots of extra. No worries. That's why you have lots of extra. Put some glue back on. So it doesn't split up on you. Uh-oh. There we go. All the twisting, and I'd put a knot in my, there we go. Yeah. That's all I needed to do was to trim it and start over. Go figure. All right. Looks like we're putting our shells that way. And that went on real easy after that. Of course it did. So then you pick up another one of these clears, because I liked the idea of surrounding the shell bead with the clears. So I need to remember I need to get 2 more shell beads. So this it's an anklet, and my size is a 10. So you will have to adjust accordingly to whatever size anklet that you wear. And then pick up 2 seed beads. Yeah, I tried wax thread, I tried all kinds of different hemps, and it was the hemp teak. I wanted something a little bit more fibery to be able to make an anklet, but there was the blue hemp teak that won. Even some of the other thinner ones just weren't cutting it. So you can get, I think Jules at Jewel Loom sells hemp teak, or you can go right on hemp teak. I had bought mine at Zulily, but Zulily's not around anymore. So let's see, we got to put the bottom in first, and we'll just go ahead and ream it a little already. The macrame board comes more in handy when we get to the next part. But we're just going to do a simple, basic, I guess they call it a square. I don't know. It's the one I've always used since I was a kid. I don't know if I know the name of it. But I've always loved something about being live, right? Now all the beads are going on fine. So with this one, it's easier, I find, to thread all the beads first. So I'm not knotting, then threading, knotting, and threading. This way I can just keep knotting away. So we've got a clear, and then I'm picking up 2 seed beads, the 8/0s. And I don't think you can go any smaller than the 8/0s with the hemp. Thank you. I believe a square knot. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Thank you, Sandy. Me and pulling words after 2 rounds of chemo is crazy. Oh, hey, Caroline. So you haven't missed much. Wax cording should work great. So you'll want 3 strands. So if you're beading along with me, 3 strands, each about an arm length for me. And so the middle strand, right now we're just throwing our beads on. The pattern I'm using, but you certainly can do a different one, is 2 8/0s, a 4mm, then the shell bead, the 4mm, 2 8/0s, the 4mm, and then the shell bead, and just repeat. My ankle is about a size 10, so these beads, this amount of beads and everything fit me really well. Aw, thank you, Sandy. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody else told me I have a very calming, soothing voice. So I guess that's a good thing, maybe. uh, don't fall asleep on me. um, yeah. So just moving right along. Oh, I'm glad you like macrame, Caroline. That's awesome. Yeah, it is so fun. I don't do it as often. I got wrapped up in other forms of beading, and it just summer, I don't know, macrame, anklets, that kind of thing. I even had to put my mermaid nails on. I was like, I want to feel beachy, do something summery. So I just did my nails before the live. So some of you I've mentioned, Trish isn't here with us today, but she's going to be back next week. Oh, thank you, Caroline. You're so kind. So I'm excited to have her back next week. Yeah, we are, both of us, if you don't know, we are in an Instagram sale this weekend. So if you go over to our Instagram feeds, both of us are selling some of our jewelry, and then we're in the sale with 6 other shops, 5 or 6 other shops that have other products too. And there's some really cool, pretty things. There's one girl who does a lot of macrame, some other beading artists. It all varies. So if you have a chance, you go over to Instagram and look up, either Trish or I, and do the IG Maker Sale July 24, and you can find all of the fun goodies. There's 2 ladies in the group. They have they reuse things. So like the one uses old sweaters to make gloves, and then the other one uses vintage fabric and different things to make bags and and shirts. So if you haven't heard the pattern, we started with 2 seed beads. So I wanted the seed beads near the beginning, and don't be like me and push too hard with your bead reamer and crack your beads. We've talked about, I just tried all kinds of different methods to figure out how to bead on here and not have my hemp split. And the easiest is just I put a little dab of glue in one of my bead trays, and I can just pick it off later. I just use like a universal glue. So don't use any of your fancy beading glues, because you're going to put it on your fingers, and it's just to keep things down. Caroline, you may certainly rock the boat and put your button on first. By all means, go for it. That's just my preference of order, but yeah, by all means, go for it. You just want to make sure, so I was saying I have a 10-inch ankle, that you have enough beads that it'll cover. So what I'll do is I bead out about 9 inches, and then that last inch is my button and my knots and stuff for that. So make sure you twist your bead reamer very carefully in your glass buttons, and so you don't crack any beads. You guys are awesome. I love that you're chatting and asking questions. Caroline, Sandy, and Melanie shared with me, and I don't know who else is on. I just see the people who are chatting, what they're making or what they're doing. So we're all going to go visit Sandy because she has a yard sale this week. And and then Melanie's working on some cross stitch and some, what were some other things that bezeling and netting. Sounds like I can't wait to see what you come out with, Melanie. That sounds really cool. But Caroline, what are you working on this week? What's the project on your table? I've also been I want to start doing paint parties, and so I'm working on. I have my first one next week, so I've been working on prepping for that. If you don't know, I do teach art at my kids' Christian high school. Started doing that last year, and just have gotten back into painting and stuff, and just love teaching. So I have teaching here, and then teaching in person is just such a fun thing. So I want to do beading and like painting parties. Like I'll travel to your home and work with you. So if you are in the central Pennsylvania area and watching this and you want to do a beading or painting party, send me a message. mountainatnewcreations@gmail.com, and I'd love to work with you. So I'll come to your home as long as you're. I wouldn't drive probably past an hour. So as long as you're an hour within the State College area, I'd be glad to do that. Let's see. I'm finishing up Sarah's soft flex shell focal bead necklace and earrings. Oh, yes, please, Caroline, please post later. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm excited to see how that comes out for you. That sounds really cool. So, Sandy, are you doing a yard sale to get more money for more beads? My kids desperately want to do a yard sale, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to sit outside and do that. That's a lot of work. More power to you, friend. More power to you. My son was at theater camp this week, so tonight we are going to go see his performance, and I'm really excited. They do like a tableau, or like they do scenes from different shows and stuff. They don't do like one big show, but that way the kids can practice different things and different techniques. And and him and his buddy are doing the scene from Lord of the Rings with Gollum and Bilbo, where the whole my precious in the cave, or maybe that's from the other movie. But oh, fun. Let's see what Melanie says. I'm working on this necklace in 4 different parts to bead along in a Facebook group for July. Oh, that's really cool, Melanie. I saw some picture you had shared, and that was gorgeous. Sandy, I'm sure you're referring to my talking about coming to see you at your yard sale. And then Caroline was inspired by Colleen video with the blues and yellows. Awesome. That is awesome, ladies. Please share in the group. We'd love to see it. Yeah. I can't wait to see. So we're almost there. We're almost done. And the next part's just simple square stitch here. Oops. I was supposed to put my last shell bead on. Silly me. And I have my anklet on, or I'd pull I think and just is very comfortable. So I'm really happy with how it turned out, and it fits great. And yeah, I have always loved hemp, and I love that I can wear it in the shower or at the beach. We're going to the beach this summer to celebrate my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. So I was really wanting that. some fun anklet to wear. And we're almost there. I did pick up a couple extra seed beads. That's right. And I counted them out last night in my preparation. So, all right. We are finally there, folks. So now that we have all our beads on, you can slide it in, or you could tape it down, whatever method. Put it in the bottom of the tying station. Whatever method works for you right now. So pull it up and you can kind of see everything. So now my pattern, I slide up. Sandy says, I wish I liked to wear necklaces more. Cool designs, but prefer rings, earrings, and bracelets. Yeah, I'm trying to, bracelets are probably my favorite thing to wear. What is your all, and earrings? I don't wear a lot of necklaces either. Or I find one and then I kind of always wear that one. But I'll show you when we flip back around. Our area has the Arts Fest right now, and we went to Kids Day on Wednesday. So the necklace I'm wearing came from that. So you want to take your right hand thread and you want to lay it across. I always thought of it as kind of like making a 4. Okay, now you want to take your left hand thread, go over top of your right hand thread, but then you take the bottom and you go underneath the thread that holds your beads and up through the loop on the right hand side. So I can't flip my rights and a left, so hopefully you can flip it, and then you're going to slowly pull it on up to wrap around your beads. And then you're going to do it again the opposite way. So take your other side. For me, it's my left hand. You're going to make your, now it's a P, I think, instead of a 4, but you can think of it as a 4. Take this side, go over top, and then under your middle thread and up through that loop. And then you slide it on up, and there you go. Now just slide up the clear bead, your 4mm, and repeat. So lay it across that middle thread. It's the second one, when you make the 4 with the second one, that you go underneath. So you go over top of that thread you just brought across, go underneath the middle one and up. Oop, I missed going underneath. Make sure you go underneath and then up through that first loop. And then find your 2 ends. At the beginning it's harder because your strings are longer, but it gets easier as you go along. And you pull it up around your bead. And then go back and do the same thing on the other side. Make a 4, lay your thread across the top of it, go underneath your middle thread, and then up through that loop. Now, if you want, we're moving pretty quickly, but if you need to, if it's helpful, you're welcome to use the sides here to hold your threads down. But we're moving pretty quickly, but I've done this for years, so it's all a matter of what works for you. So it would be kind of like I'd make my 4, slip it in, then I have it in place that I can lay it over top and go underneath and up through that loop. And make sure you don't pick up any other beads yet. And unhook and pull around your 7mm. For me, it's my shell. Now make a 4 with the other side. So you just want to make sure, whether it's your right or left, that you just do the opposite side each time. Now, because we're using stiff, go under, remember up through that loop. And you make your square knot. So any questions so far on the knotting? before I continue. If you haven't had a chance, please make sure you like and share to your own Facebook or wherever you want to share. Help us gain some more friends. And it looks like at this point, with what's going on with Trish, and I'll let her share when she's ready, we will be staying at the 4 o'clock Friday time for now. There won't be any changes, and Trish will be returning next week. So we've got our 2 knots. Did I do too many? I may have. I think I added an extra. That's okay. We'll just keep going. But you should be able, you can see the bumps. No, it doesn't. It looks like I just did the other side. Or I did do an extra, but that's okay. You can do as many as you want. I mean, it actually, could add intrigue. So take your one side, make your 4, grab your other one, make sure it goes over top of the thread you just made a 4 with, and go under and through that loop. And don't pick up any other beads because they want to go up in there. And then you pull. And now do it on the opposite side. Over top, underneath, and through the loop. And that's it. Come on. We're not doing those seed beads yet. We're finishing up our clear 4mm. There we go. Now we'll slide up our 2 seed beads. And would any of you like to go live with us? We'd love to have you on. You can share your own business pages. You can share maybe a project you're working on. You could teach Trish and I some stuff. So if you'd like to do that, send us a message. One thing we love to do and want to do more and more is just really support you guys, support our local beaders, not local, our friends, those local too, but you guys here online, not all of you are local. Those of you who are local can meet up with us maybe one day. Trish and I live just about an hour apart, just over an hour apart from each other. So sadly, we don't get to see each other more often. But I wish we lived just slightly closer, but it's probably good because we wouldn't get anything done if we did. But make your 4 and then take your other side, go over top, underneath, and through the loop. And around the bead, and then change sides. So this is kind of how you use the macrame board. It's really good if, during COVID, I did this thing where I tried to see how it was done by the Arts Fest that we have here, was to make a whole bunch of knotted bracelets. And so I tried to send bracelets all over the country just to show our unity through that time, since we couldn't be together. It was quite fun. I had a whole map and sent a lot of bracelets out. It was a lot of fun. Gave me something to focus on. My kids helped me. It was great fun. So we made our squares one-sided. Now we got to do the other side to complete our stitch. Why, you might wonder, why do we do both sides? And it balances out. If we only did one side, you could definitely do a stitch where you just make your 4s on one side, and that would create a spiral. By doing both sides, it flattens out the stitch, makes it all kind of one direction. But just this 4 shape, doing it different ways, can change up the stitch really easily. And so I encourage you to try different things, see what you can come up with. Remember, create your 4. If If you want to use the sides, you can clip it into the side, helps it then bring the other side, lay it over top, then go underneath your middle thread. Oftentimes when you do this stitch, you have at least 2 threads in the middle if you weren't adding the beads on like we were. But the beads, like, it would have been, you couldn't put the beads through 2, 2 threads. So that's why I had to come up with a different method to make this happen. Stop there for a second and take a drink of water and see any of you guys have any questions. It's another hot day today. Yesterday was beautiful. We went to the local Little League baseball game and they lost, but it was just a lot of fun. Our oldest came with us and my parents, my husband's work went together as a group. So that was kind of, so he worked a little bit. They had a raffle booth to raise money. He works at, yes, he works at a nonprofit that works with special needs people. So Caroline, thank you so much. Yes, I am using the hemp. So this is, I really like Hemptique hemp. That's probably one of my favorites. That's the brand I think Jules gets. I'm not sure who else gets it. That's where I've gotten a lot of mine from, was from Jules's shop. I don't know, but I believe it's the 0.5. But it comes, for me, I got a lot because I really enjoy hemp. So it comes, this one I had gotten off of Zulily, but Zulily has closed. So, but I believe you can probably buy it other places, probably on Amazon, probably, I think at Jules. I'm not sure who else carries this. So we did the one side. Now we're going to go back and do the other side. So I'm going to try and move a little quicker so we can get to how to finish this off, unless somebody has some more questions. Yes, Hemptique is great for looming too. I agree, Caroline. It's just, it's so good quality. Like, it just holds up really well. And it starts out stiff, but it definitely, after getting it wet at the beach or whatever, like I want to do this summer, softens up. But it works really well. Yeah. Probably my favorite kind of hemp. In my younger days, everything I wore was hemp. Not anymore, but that's okay. So remember, after you get your 2 in to create your square stitch, you move the next bead up, and you certainly can do whatever pattern you want, and then make your 4, go under and up and through, and pull, and then do it on the opposite side. So just think about it in the sense, you know, like it's very meditative to do macrame, and I just like the back and forth, like it just kind of balances out. It's like looming, you know, just the meditative movement of it is so nice. Who all, now I know some of you have already mentioned that you're beading along with me. Is anybody else who has joined us beading along as well? If you haven't mentioned already, please, I can't wait to see, sharing the group. And also, if you know, have your own shop or on Instagram or Facebook, and Trish and I haven't followed you yet, please, we'd love to follow you and support you guys in any way we can. So yeah, you just keep You do both directions, then you slide up the next bead and you keep going. So if I miss a comment, sorry. We wore cotton gauze with bell-bottom jeans. We were the younger hippies of the mid and late 70s. Ah, yes. It's still tied over. I was in the 80s. Well, I was born in the 70s, but you know, definitely had some of that in the 80s too while I was growing up. But very fun. Very fun. Yeah, I used to borrow some of my mom's old clothing. She had some of these really cool hippie clothes. I think my one daughter actually has one of her old shirts that she still wears. Yeah. So any questions on the technique? I'm just trying to move along here so I can get down to the bottom and show you guys how to finish it off. Pretty, once you get going, it's pretty simple and completely up to you. I'm trying to lay my shell beads in there so that the hemp surrounds them, but you can certainly let them spin. That's just what I'm doing. Yeah, if any of you have YouTube channels or you'd like to come bead along with Trish and I online and share some of the creations you're making right now, we'd love to do that. And I also have a blog I'd like to get back up and running called Meet the Maker. And I can send you the interview questions and you send me some pictures and I create like a little blog post about you and your shop. We just love to support other makers. So sliding up the seed beads, creating my 4, laying across the top, going under and up through that loop. And as I said before, it'd get easier as the string got shorter. And that's what it's doing. And so I'm using the little size to help hold it in place. My string isn't completely flip-flopping all over. Pull it up. If you're just joining us, make sure you say hi. I'd love to hear how you're doing and what's new. We're making an anklet today. This will work out to be a size 10, but lay it out and kind of try and figure out how many beads you need for your size ankle. And if you are interested in Potomac beads, definitely feel free to use my ambassador. What do you call it? Ambassador, or I can't think of the word. Sandy always pulls up words for me. What word? Anyway, use my link, affiliate. Thank you. I knew I'd pull it up soon. I'll have my friend Trish here to help me. But you can use my affiliate link. This was June's box. I don't know if they have any extras, but I just made my video and it's going to go live tomorrow of the July box. Another beautiful box. It kind of has a Hawaii kind of theme to it, like a volcanic, some really bright colors. This one was kind of all beachy, blues and a little bit of greens. We're almost down to the bottom here. I'm so excited to have you guys with us. And I mentioned earlier that Trish will be returning to us next week. And for now, she'll be teaching next week. For now, we are going to stay on Fridays. And I'll let her update what's going on if she wants. But excited to have her back next week and that it'll work out for us to keep keep on going at this time. How many of you, I know Trish and I aren't going to be able to, but how many of you are doing Jesse James summer camp? I've definitely done it in years past, and it's so much fun. We just will be away during it, and the cost right now. But it is so much fun. They have some great projects. I still have to finish up projects from other years. I did do their Christmas one. I think it was this year. That's probably the one I like to get all those Christmas beads because it's not something I would normally just go and buy. What's your favorite kind of beads? What season do you like to buy beads in? We're almost done. And if you're wondering, each the 3 strands, and they're each about one arm length. Or I did 1.5 wingspan wise. So depending on how you measure out. Oops, picked up an extra bead. You like seed beads, Sandy? Very fun. Will you be doing any fun beading camps or groups or anything this summer? I think Melanie really likes seed beads too. At least she's doing all those fun projects. I guess, yeah, tell us more about this Bead Along thing that you're doing. That sounds really cool. It's a big project. What beading group is that? If you're still here, Melanie, I'd love to hear more about that. Sounds really, really intriguing. Is that just a Canadian group or? We're so close, friends. So close. Almost done. Oh, I didn't get to see the picture of that yet. I'll have to go back. I love Daniel Wick's projects. Oh, she comes up with some of the most gorgeous, gorgeous projects. Yeah, I'm always getting ready for our lives. So I don't always get around, but I'm glad they record it so I can go back and watch hers. I'm actually this right here. This is one of hers from camp a couple of years ago, from Jesse James camp. And then these two, this is just a seed bead bracelet, but these two are my creations with Potomac beads. So we had done this one in Alive, and then I wanted to try something slightly different. So with some kind of 4th of July coloring. Oh, so Melanie says it's actually seed beads, more tons of free patterns and designers. Very fun. What's the name of that? If you're allowed to share, and I'm fine if you share. We're beading along with friends, so it's fine to share about other groups, and hopefully I don't have a problem with it, and neither does Trish. And I would think that they would want more. It sounds a lot of fun. And make sure you're still laying on top of and then going underneath. And I got my last 3 beads here. So make that 4, go over top, and then go underneath and through the loop. And pull. 4, lay on top, go underneath, and then through the loop and pull. Let's see, Jill Wiseman and Kelly Dale are in there. There's a new Bead Along every month. Next month is Pride Month. Oh, not June? They didn't do June as Pride Month? Sometimes they have a loom project too from Erin Smetty. Oh, fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. You said it's a Facebook group? If you can, yeah, just, I don't know, send me the link. You and I chat. So send me I might already be in it and not know it and just haven't had time to really delve into it. All right, so I'm on my last one here. So make sure, do your 4, you lay across the top, go underneath and up through that loop, and give it a good tug. And then pull it off of however you laid it down. Move your board out of the way. And here we go. So here's our anklet. Okay. Melanie says that she loves seed beads and rondelles, starting to love mermaid beads. They are pretty, aren't they? Very pretty. Yeah, I just love beads. Let's see. So I think I haven't trimmed this end yet. I think I'm going to put my button over here. Now, the way I had done my button is I had to ream it a little. This is a wooden button, so not as dangerous as the glass. Just to open it up enough because I put all 3 strands through each hole so that I could tie my knot underneath. But you can certainly tie it on top. But this hemp is so thin, it just felt more secure to do it this way. So I already had a knot up top to hold the beads on that end. So I don't need to add an extra knot there. But now I'm going to put all 3. So I come up through the bottom of the button, and now I'm going to go back down. So kind of make like a loop. Gather all your threads together so it's easier to push through. And they moved on me anyways. There we go. And then pull it down. Thank you, Melanie. I really appreciate that. And fairly simple. So then I flip it over and then I wrap it around my bracelet there and come through the middle for the first knot. And then repeat. And I find this way, then you don't have threads hanging out tickling your, well, they still tickle you underneath, but they're not hanging out your buttonhole. That sounds really bad. Oh my goodness. If Trish was here, we would really laugh about how that sounds. And then on the other side, you just go trim that up a little. There we go. And then on the other side, I just, you already got it knotted there. So you just need to make sure you make a hole big enough to hold your button. So lay it up next to your button and don't pull it too tight right away yet. And if you want, hemp's pretty good. It doesn't often come unknotted. But if you want to put a dab of glue on your knots, you certainly may do that. But you don't have to. I'm trying to remember what I had done because let me pull my anklet off because I had done it differently actually because it just felt so thin. Oh yeah, I made like a loop with all of it. Pulling my anklet off. Be there in a sec. All right, there we go. So I just made a loop knot. That way. So tied it very similar to the other end. So this was my original one. I had a little flower button on that one. But just wrap it around the end wrap. So I don't know if you've ever done these kind of knots where you kind of wrap it around. I'm going to trim that extra long piece there. It's not in my way. And then back up through or down through, depending on. And then that, it's not a slip knot, if that makes sense. Because you don't want a slip knot. You don't want it sliding. So you wrap it around more than once. And then well, it is still kind of sliding, but I needed to slide to get on here. Make sure your button can get through. And then know where we want it. And then you tie like here so your loop doesn't come undone. So I kind of left a loop there, went through my loop, and now I'm coming back out it over here. And that'll stop it from sliding. If I can find all my ends. Let's do that again because I lost my ends. The one went through. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Caroline. You guys are great. I'm so glad you could be here. And next week, Trish, I think, has a fun, I think she posted the picture already, but I'll have a fun bracelet or something for us next week. Trish will be back, and I'll be here too, so you'll get both of us crazy ladies. Yeah. And there we go. So this, because this is so thin, I wanted the extra benefit of extra threads, and it'll loosen up some. I didn't make that a little tight for this button, but yeah. And that's what we got, folks. Slide it on and trim up some of the extra threads, throw on some glue, and have fun wearing your bracelet at the beach or your anklet at the beach. All right, so I will flip around and wave goodbye to you guys, and thank you so much for joining me today. So excited to have you guys. Yeah, and please share all of your wonderful things in our group, and we will see you next week. So have a wonderful July. All right, friends, take care. Bye.